Hey everybody, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, today Bitcoin flash pumped to over $125,000, setting a new all-time high. So we see the bullish rally continues. However, I do want to issue a warning here because on the daily chart, the RSI is in the overbought zone. So we could see a pullback very soon. Now, in my most recent podcast, I said expect retests and pullbacks. That would be very healthy, right? We've seen these types of moves many times before, and usually a pullback is very healthy to cool things down, and then we build support levels and then we keep going. And with some sort of pullback, we could see the altcoins start to rally. Now, at the time of recording, Bitcoin is just below $124,000. So let's see what the week brings us. But the warning signs are there for the short term. I'm not talking about the long term, right? Long term, we're bullish. I believe we're going to higher highs. The bull market's still intact. But for the short term, strong move over the past week. Pullback is certainly necessary. On the daily chart, the MACD shows the bulls are in solid control here. For the weekly chart, one of the things we were talking about is that the MACD showed the bears were in charge, right? That they were in control. And you guys know, I've been on record. I have the receipts. I've been telling you, well, look at this. We're starting to flip green, right? Right now, the moving averages are crossing. The indicator, which has been in red, has now started to diminish. So we're about to flip bullish and turn green here. So this is a very positive sign. So notice we're looking at multiple time frames, daily, weekly, and we're going to look at the monthly. Because if you're only looking at one view or even two, and you're not looking at all three, you're completely missing the big picture, right? So if we look at the monthly chart, it's what I've been saying. Bulls are in full control, folks. The MACD is in solid green. And as I've highlighted before, the RSI in the monthly chart, not even close to being overheated like it has been at the top of the previous bull market. So more to go here, folks. Things are still on track. And, we've been seeing other asset classes like gold, even silver, those are in the precious metals category, but even the stock market, the S&P 500, the Dow, the Nasdaq, all hitting new all-time highs. So the global liquidity, which has been a leading indicator in this bull market, continues to drive asset prices higher. And, as I've shared many times, we got a room to run here, folks. So patience is the key. Something to watch, though, as Bitcoin on the daily is hitting that overbought zone and it starts to cool down, we could see some rotation of liquidity to the altcoins. So if you look at total three, which is excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoin, so we're talking about the majority of the altcoin market here, it still has room to run. It's not in the overbought zone from a daily perspective, it's RSI. So I think we could see rotation of liquidity like we've seen many times, right? Bitcoin leads the market, the capital flows through Bitcoin, and then when Bitcoin becomes overbought, then you see the rotation to the altcoins. So we could see some alts start to pick up. And then when the alts become overbought, you're right, rinse and repeat. It goes back to liquidity, goes back to Bitcoin. So this is where patience is the key, and we'll continue to monitor these data points. But guys, I mean, clearly things are picking up here, and we know seasonality wise, Q4 is very good for markets. Now, will it be a straight line up? Of course not. Again, expect retests and pullbacks, and watch out for the FUDsters who were calling the top, panic selling, flip flopping, and all kinds of nonsense, right? But the data is what we want to focus on. We don't want to be emotional. We want to be educated. So things looking good here. So what would be the next major target for Bitcoin? Well, here analyst Crypto Wizard put together a great chart analysis for Bitcoin saying bulls take control. The fight has been won. Bears have been left behind again. Bitcoin has rallied after flipping the previous resistance as support. It's rocketed to a new all-time high. Up next, 132K. So I think that's a very solid price point from the moves we've seen so far in the market. And that could be a local top. I believe that will be a local top where it pulls back after hitting 132K. And then we find our support, then we keep moving. So watch out for the next major target of 132K. Once again, it won't go up in a straight line. There's going to be pullbacks and retests on the way up. From an Ethereum perspective, Crypto Wizard also highlighted a chart here showing that ETH chart is mirroring gold. And we see gold has been going on a parabolic run, going nuts, right? So he said Ethereum is gearing up to rocket to the moon. ETH has an identical structure to gold and is currently flipping the range of support. The parabolic rally is drawing closer. So ETH is usually one of the altcoins that moves early ahead of the other altcoins. So we want to keep a close eye on it. And on that note, XRP is also being one of the leading altcoins in this market. We saw the period of time last year when it was leading the rally, especially in Q4 from an altcoin perspective, of course. Before that, it was Solana. And then right now, he says here there's an explosive XRP breakout ready to happen. He says the longer it consolidates, the bigger the expansion. For over 300 days, XRP has been trading just below its previous all-time high, holding its incredible gain. Only a matter of time until $3.65 breaks, which was the most recent high it set, breaking the all-time high, which was set back in 2018. He says $4.50 is inevitable. So once again, this I believe is a next move to a local top, not the ultimate blow-off top. Now I say that based on the data, but things can change. So we want to make sure we continue to follow the charts and the different metrics and signals, right? Not just one or two, but a variety to make sure we are making educated moves here. So XRP prime for a breakout. And he also gave an analysis on BNB. And the reason being, BNB has recently kind of taken that mantle of being the altcoin that's leading the market. Despite some of the volatility we've seen over the past month, BNB has been going pretty nuts, right? Hitting new all-time highs. So he says the next target from the ground up, we've rode it all the way. BNB has finally smashed our $1,100 target. It is now breaking above. Next for the bulls is $1,320. We're up plus 96.58%, more to come. So BNB is a coin you want to watch, not necessarily because you hold it. I don't hold it, but you want to watch it to see how it's moving because it's the altcoin that's getting a lot of strength right now. So something to keep an eye on, folks. But clearly, bull market's still on, right? Remember the people that were calling the top? I'm reminding you because I want to make sure that you guys are learning how to navigate the market, not because I want to boast or say I got it right, but I'm trying to make sure that you're not thinking emotionally or getting caught up too much in the sentiment of the price movements, but rather the data. Because there are people who have been posting in the comment section, you're an idiot, the top is in, sell everything, right? Those were things that were popping up. So I want you guys to be educated. So when you see that, you can say, wait a minute, is that true? Let me go to the charts. Let me go to the data and the signals and take a look. Now, with Bitcoin's move, we're seeing the Bitcoin dominance rise, but we know that's temporary. It's going to start collapsing as altcoins pick up speed. USDT dominance continues to break down. That's a good sign. So liquidity is flowing into the market, obviously. So everything's still on track here, folks. Now, this episode is brought to you by VeChain. VeChain is one of the top layer one enterprise blockchains out there. I'm a VET token holder. I have been since 2018. I'm very bullish on this project. VeChain is getting a lot of adoption by many brands and companies who are building Web3 technology. Some of the key features of the VeChain blockchain includes it's secure, affordable, scalable, fast, and sustainable. Some of the brands that are working with VeChain include Givenchy, Walmart China, BMW, PwC, that's a top 4 accounting firm, and Boston Consulting Group. They are also partnered with Dana White in the UFC. Most recently, Dana White mentioned that he bought like $1 million in VET token. And they recently added staking as well via Stargate. So again, VeChain doing a lot, great enterprise level blockchain getting a lot of adoption. So if you'd like to learn more, go to vechain.org. Link will be in the description. Now, folks, look at this news. The Ethereum Foundation is swapping $4.5 million in ETH for stablecoins to fuel growth. So this is an interesting move here, and you're going to see a lot of things like this happening as we head towards the top of the market because everybody's trying to get as much market share, as much inflows of capital, of course, and competition's heating up, pushing for adoption as you have TradFi coming in. So the Ethereum Foundation said Friday it will swap 1,000 ETH, approximately $4.5 million for stablecoins to fund growth using CowSwap's TWAP feature. Never heard of that, by the way. The organization said converting the Ether into stablecoins will help it fuel ongoing work to fund R&D, which is research and development, grants and donations, and to highlight the power of DeFi, according to a post on X. Last month, the Ethereum Foundation made a similar announcement saying it would convert 10,000 Ethereum worth about $43.6 million at the time to stablecoins on centralized exchanges framed as routine funding for research grants and donations. The announcement came after the foundation paused or slowed several grants to reduce its burn rate, the block previously reported. As with last month's 10,000 ETH announcement, many users on X criticized the foundation's plan on Friday. So people are going to criticize, but I think this makes sense. They're trying to boost adoption and get things going. So, but this is part of the investment. You got to pick your horses and make sure they are doing the right thing. Now, speaking of Ethereum, you got some news on MetaMask's front. So MetaMask's upcoming rewards program will distribute 30 million in Linea during the first season. So we've recently talked about Linea, how Swift is building on this Ethereum layer 2, and it's a token I'm going to look to take a position in, because if Swift and the banks are building on it, there's going to be a lot of utility there and huge narrative, of course. So this is interesting, though. So MetaMask revealed details of its upcoming rewards program on X on Saturday, saying it will be one of the largest on-chain rewards programs ever built, and teasing over $30 million in Linea rewards during its first season. The rewards will have meaningful connections to the forthcoming MetaMask token, according to the popular wallet apps team. Linea is an Ethereum Layer 2 network incubated by Consensus, which created MetaMask. The full program will be rolled out within the next couple of weeks, MetaMask said. So this is very interesting. And like I said, I will let you guys know if I take a position in this coin. Obviously, do your own research. Don't go and invest in it, because I'm investing in it. But I'm just being transparent with you all. And I don't know if I'm gonna buy it now or wait till the bear market. That's something I'm still evaluating, and I have to look at the token unlocks. And this was launched recently, so it could run, especially once again, the big news that we've been seeing with Swift looking to build on this thing. Now, look at this news. Stablecoins will force everyone to share yield, says Stripe CEO. So stablecoins, tokenized versions of fiat currencies that move on blockchain rails, will eventually force banks and other financial institutions to offer customers yields on their deposits to remain competitive, according to Patrick Collison, CEO of payments company Stripe. The average interest rate for U.S. savings accounts is 0.40%, and in the EU, the average rate on the savings accounts is 0.25%, Collison said, in response to VC Nick Carter's post outlining the rise of yield-bearing stablecoins and the future of the sector. So we all know we're getting next to nothing from the banks, right? And this is why the banks have been trying to block in the Genius Act the ability for you to earn yield and interest on Coinbase or Uphold or these platforms, because you're getting vastly more a return there. So these banks need to compete, and I believe they will launch their own stable coins. But the disruption that's at their doorstep will allow you to earn more because you have more options now, and I think it will force the banks to offer more, because they've been robbing us forever, right? They get the bailouts, they don't give us any interest, they keep the majority of the money. And if it wasn't for this technology and the ability to tokenize dollars, it would be the same story continuing, right? But now these banks, they have to figure out a way to be competitive. So here's a quote: depositors are going to and should earn something closer to a market return on their capital. Some lobbies are currently pushing post-Genius to further restrict any kinds of rewards associated with stablecoin deposits. So the banking lobby is trying to stop this. I discussed this with Ron Hammond of Wintermute, used to be at the Blockchain Association, in the interview I published 9 days ago, and also with Summer Mersinger, who is now the CEO of the Blockchain Association. She wrote an op-ed about these banks and the banking lobby trying to stop you from earning more, right? And the banks want to keep the money, and they want to just give you crumbs while they eat the whole cookie, so to speak. Now, final news item: Brazil's Mercado Bitcoin bets on invisible blockchain approach to build financial super app. This is an interesting move. So Brazilian crypto exchange Mercado Bitcoin is shifting its focus from trading to becoming a financial hub that offers a range of financial services, including payments, digital fixed income, and remittances. The company aims to become a super app for Brazilians to manage their financial lives using blockchain technology behind the scenes while avoiding crypto native terminology. Now, a couple of takeaways here. We're seeing this happening in the United States as well. Coinbase, they're saying they want to be a super app, and we've talked about it, where these crypto exchanges are filing for national charter trust licenses from the OCC because they want to become kind of neobanks. And they want to build apps that allow you to do everything, all your financial services. So your crypto, your digital assets, your stable coins, your banking. And I think that's the future, right? So you're seeing moves happening across the globe. And this is a very smart move by Mercado Bitcoin. This is the future. Everybody now has smartphones for the most part, right? They may not have laptops, they may not have even a car, but they'll have a smartphone and the ability to set up your wallet and do all these things. And this is a very smart move. And the other takeaway here is that they want to just have blockchain technology running and not push crypto necessarily to the masses. Yes, they will have crypto built in, but they don't want to say, hey, this is using crypto blockchain tech. They just want to say, here, you can move money this fast, instant settlement, cheaper fees, yada, yada. And I think this is the direction. We saw it with the internet. You may be listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching it on YouTube or Rumble or wherever. You're not thinking about the mechanics and the components that are allowing that to happen, right? The internet technology, the browser technology, the streaming technology, whatever it is, you just want to know it works. And that's the direction crypto has to get to for mass adoption, because not everybody's going to necessarily care. The end user is just going to want to know, what benefits am I getting? Is it working great? Is it easy to use? Is it saving me money? Is it making me money? Things like that, right? So Mercado's Bitcoin strategy involves offering tokenized investment products such as private credit and expanding geographically. It has a goal of surpassing $560 million in tokenized credit issuance by the end of the year. Big moves happening, folks. Just incredible. And, just to remind you guys, this week we got two major news items, and I did post about it today, and that is Coinbase partnering with Samsung to bring crypto to 75 million Samsung phone users, and then Walmart's OnePay, they're going to launch Bitcoin and Ethereum trading. So huge on-ramps being set up. It's just incredible. I'm so bullish, guys. Things are moving in the right direction. As always, be patient, expect volatility, and stick with the data. Don't get emotional. If you are getting emotional about markets, you're doing it wrong. The whales and the market makers are doing their job. Over the past month, I've been saying the whales and the market makers want to rip your heart out. They want you to panic sell, and then they want you to panic buy back in. If you're panicking at any point, you're doing it wrong, my friends. So I say that having been here for multiple bull and bear market cycles. So be patient, continue to monitor the data and the signals. And like I said, I will be here, letting you guys know if any red flags are flashing. Hey, that we're hitting the top zone and time to exit the market, right? But we're not there yet. Folks, if you appreciated this content, please be sure to support the podcast by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free on Substack. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital, and my course at mycryptocourse.com. All the links will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching, folks. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.